Hello everyone, it is B with the B Code and welcome back to my channel. First of all, as usual, I'd like to say thank you to my subscribers and those who watch my content. Feel free to hit the thumbs up and subscribe, and of course leave your comments below once I am done. So as we can tell by the title, class is in session, why an average man simply won't do kitty boo boo. Now this video pretty much goes out to everyone that has an opinion about why women do not want an average man. And of course, I'm going to give you the reason why an average man simply won't do kitty boo boo. So a lot of people have their views on how relationships should go, how finances should go. Some men want submissive women. Some women want men who are high earners. Some women will take a blue collar worker. And some women just simply do not want to be bothered. They are happy and satisfied with managing their own lives, right? So when we're talking about the average man usually earns minimum wage, right? And an above average man would usually earn above minimum wage and higher. So when we're talking in terms of black men, we have men in several categories. We have our minimum wage workers, we have our men that earn a little bit above minimum wage. We have our middle class wage earners. We have our higher wage earners. So what I did was I took the liberty of looking up the states with the highest minimum wage. So we had New Jersey at $14.13 an hour. New York, we have $14.20 an hour. Massachusetts, we have $15 an hour. California, $15.50 an hour. And Washington, D.C., $15.74 an hour. Now look at where these look at these states, right? You don't mind living in New Jersey, but in New Jersey and New York, I don't know if it snows in Massachusetts, but pretty much if you are a West Coast gal or guy, you really don't want to go and live in these states. You have California, $15.50 an hour. We already know that's low. In Washington, I've never been to Washington, so I really can't tell you what happens out there. I just know that they pretty much have the highest minimum wage, right? $15.74 an hour. Yay! Now, when we're talking about an average man or a woman not wanting an average man, let's look at what a one bedroom would cost in these states. So when a woman is looking for a man, she's looking for him to provide for her or help her provide, right? And maybe vice versa. But in the delusional world we have today, a lot of these men think they are high value just because they have a penis. So in New Jersey, a one bedroom is $1,590 a month. In New York, and I just picked Brooklyn, I'm a Brooklyn gal, a one bedroom is $4,133 a month. Massachusetts, $2,400 a month. California, a one bedroom is $2,780 a month. And in Washington, D.C., which is the highest minimum wage state, The one bedrooms go for $1,590. Now, we're also speaking in terms of a single man and a single woman, which they could pretty much, do a one bedroom if they don't have any kids, right? But remember, what we're talking about is an average man earning, earning minimum wage, right? So if we look at, we took the highest, well, I took the highest, which is Washington, D.C. at $15.74 an hour, right? So $15.74 an hour times 40 hours a week is $629.60. Mind you, this is before taxes. $15.74 times 80 hours, which means 2 weeks, is $1,259.20 before taxes. $15.74 times 160 hours, which is a month, is $2,518.40. Now, according to my math and according to how much a one bedroom costs, the only place you would probably be able to afford to live as a single man, and not even that, as a couple, is in Washington, D.C., according to the rent stats that I got for a one bedroom, right? And this is minimum wage, right? And this is also before taxes. So before taxes, this average earning man or this average man would not even be able to afford to take care of himself. It's a shame, right? But he's a grown adult earning minimum wage. I mean, who does that? And when I ask the question of who does that, a lot of men do that, right? Those of them that even have a job. So let me break down to you the way the United States works, right? First, you have elementary school, then you have junior high school, then you have high school. So in high school, the young kids 16 and over, a lot of times they get a part-time job at a fast food chain, meaning McDonald's, Burger King, Subway, Jack in the Box, Taco Bell, right? Or they get a summer job, which is where? Summer camp. I've been at summer camp before. The high school kids help to watch, monitor, and host the games that are played in summer camp by the elementary and junior high school kids, right? Which is a fine way for a 16 and up to earn some money, right? And this also teaches them early in life how to look for a job, self-presentation, filling out a job application, interviewing. They also have the opportunity to get a feel for a work environment, gain work experience, and establish work ethics, meaning some jobs require that you wear a uniform. If you're in fast food, you're going to have to wear a uniform. Versus summer camp, you get to wear your regular clothes. Showing up for work on time and consistently. Working the days you are scheduled. Learning how to be professional. Learning how to communicate with management. And learning how to effectively work with coworkers. So all of these reasons for having a part-time job in high school is the reason that a lot of Black people are not successful in their adulthood in the work environment. Of course, we've seen all kind of videos on YouTube where the black employees are fighting with each other. They're rude in the drive-through. They lack self-control. They lack knowing how to work with each other in the work environment. They don't know how can I put this? Follow directions from their supervisor, very disrespectful. And one of the reasons this is because they didn't have this high school work foundation to build on, so that they've already learned from mistakes on not listening to your manager, not getting along with your coworkers, being rude in a drive-through, not showing up for work on time and consistently, not having on their clean uniform, forgetting their, fast food hat at home, different things of that nature. So what we have a lot of adults that are just entering the workforce after high school, if they even finish, and they just simply have no concept or idea of what the heck it is they're doing, how to get along with co-workers, how to listen to your supervisor. They haven't gained that consistency for showing up to work and on time. Um, just so many things are missing if you don't get that foundation set. Now, a lot of times this doesn't happen with all adults. This happens to the ones that have ineffective parental leadership in the home. And we know that could be many reasons. Number one, maybe it was a teenage mom, right? She wasn't ready for kids, so she don't know what the heck to teach her child, and then she doesn't have that parental guidance to even guide her with that child. So she don't know. She's gonna miss a whole lot because she's taking care of a baby, and she's just basically trying to finish high school, right? But then we have those neglectful parents who put themselves and their happiness and all these different things ahead of their kids, and they just simply teach their children nothing. Or they just teach them clean your room, mop the floor, clean the living room, wash the dishes, put the groceries away, take out the trash, blah 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 this and blah blah. It doesn't establish work ethics. What it establishes is, how do I want to say, rebelliousness, right? Because no kid wants to just come home just to clean. I mean, once they learn how to clean their room, once they learn how to mix chemicals and mop floors, once they learn how to wash dishes, once they learn how to take out the trash, I mean, what's next? Right? So, in addition to doing all of these things, we have to be teaching our children about society. If you're not going to send them to work, you need to be at least educating them on some of the things that they're going to be experiencing at work, right? If you don't show up for work, you're going to lose your job. If you don't show up on time consistently, you're going to lose your job. If you're always forgetting to bring an item or an item of your uniform to work, you might get fired, right? If you don't know how to get along with coworkers, you're going to get beat up or you're going to have to beat somebody up. You're going to end up in jail. I mean, so if you aren't going to send your kids to work, you should at least be showing them or telling them about the work ethics they're going to have, some of the problems they may experience while at work. And then, of course, we want to listen to our supervisors because you're going to get fired, right? Um, you might want to get a blank job application and have them fill it out, right? Just so that they're getting that experience. But I guess my point is that what are you doing with your kids besides showing them how to cook and clean, right? If you're only going to show them how to cook and clean, I guarantee you're setting them up for failure unless they're going to go somewhere and be a housekeeper or a janitor, right? So, I mean, I just wanted to bring some of these points because this is the foundation, could be and is a good foundation for work ethics, especially as a parent if you don't have any of your own, right? So when we bring it to adulthood, what do we have? We have a lot of black men and women who don't know how to function in the work environment. Their goals are flawed, right? We have some men that like to go to work to find women. Also, we have women that like to go to work and fool around with the men. um, they don't know how to they don't know how to keep a job. They'll have a job for 2 months, 3 months, and then they end up with no job, having to go find another job. So how would an average man, or how would an average man be enough for a woman that has needs, especially if she has children, especially if you plan on having children with her? How are you going to take care of a family working on minimum wage when you can't even take care of yourself working minimum wage? So, why would a woman want an average man who she knows can't be consistent with even keeping a job? So, how is he even going to be consistent with managing a household, leading a household? And how is he going to even be consistent with a relationship? Because we know those don't last. They last for about 2 to 3 months, 6 months, a year, and then the man bounces, right? And so when we're talking, when we're speaking in terms of an educated woman, right? Whether it be uh, whether she's in debt with credit cards, whether she has expensive spending habits, whether she, is high maintenance, whatever the case may be, no, an average man simply won't do for her. She needs someone that is making at least what she's making or more. So, no, an average man won't do. Now, continuing on with the path of America, right? After high school, it's off to college. And so, what is college? A college is an educational institution or a constituent part of one. A college may be a degree awarding tertiary educational institution, a part of a collegiate or federal university, an institution offering vocational education, or a secondary school. Vocation meaning 2 years, degree awarding meaning 4 years, right? So if you are on the correct path, you would be going to college or you would be doing some type of vocation. So, in a vocational setting, which I would highly, highly recommend for the average black person, because college right now is so expensive, it takes a long time, and if you have a vocation, you will probably end up coming out after 2 years making more than a 4 year college student, depending on the path they took in college and the job prospects and the rate of pay, which, of course, all of that should be researched before they decide what their major is. So, a vocational school, trade school, or technical school is a type of educational institution which, depending on the country, may refer to either secondary or post secondary education designed to provide vocational education or technical skills required to complete the tasks of a particular and specific job, right? So, this is the path that I took once I graduated high school. So, if you've been watching my videos, you know that by the time I graduated high school, I had my CNA, and a year after that, I went ahead and went to school for my LPN, which was vocational school. It actually only took me a year to complete that program, but by the time I finished, or when I finished, I was making well above minimum wage, right? So it was enough for me to be able to take care of myself a little bit, because living in California, rent was even expensive back then, right? When I finished vocational school. So, what I want to do is let's look at what type of vocations or specific jobs that you can do with a vocational trade or technical education, because a lot of people just simply don't know. I mean, you have a lot of YouTubers on here with their opinion of this and of that, but they do not give a clear and concise definition of what Black people could be doing with their lives. They get on here and they skip over all of this, and oh, she wants this and he wants that, and she's delusional for wanting this, and he's delusional for wanting that. But why are Black people so delusional? Because they don't get this type of foundation. So we have, once again, a lot of YouTubers on here that are capitalizing on the stupidity of Black people, right? So let's look at some of these specific jobs that can be done with a vocation, trade, or technical school education. So we have nursing, we have mechanics, we have barbering, we have cosmetology, we have electrician, and we also have maintenance, right? So in nursing, you can go 1 year vocational school for your LPN, LVN. Matter of fact, you can even go to school for your CNA and be earning, I wouldn't say way above minimum wage, but at least a little bit more. And like I said, a lot of CNAs, sometimes they have two jobs. A lot of nurses have two jobs. But then you have the 2 year colleges where you can go for registered nursing, right? And then on the other side of that, they have physical therapy, they have occupational therapy, they have respiratory therapy, which those are usually 24 months, right? 2 years. So it's a goal, or it's goals that are obtainable, don't take you so long to do it. And then you know that once you get out of school, you're going to find a job, right? We have mechanics. I mean, damn, how many of these men out here, these Black men out here, how many of them can change an alternator, right? How many of them can do some brakes? How many of them can do a tune up, which means changing spark plugs, right? How many of them can change oil, right? So a lot of times an average man won't do, because they haven't even learned how to take care of the necessary things that need to be taken care of, especially with their car and their woman's car. It will save you a lot of money, right? Mechanics, they can earn a lot of money. I see them all over the place. I see some Black mechanics and young Black mechanics, barbering. I mean, you always see Black men in a damn barber shop, but how many of them actually know how to use some clippers, right? Do the hairstyles, do the designs, you have a lot of men that know how to do that. But why don't we have more men in the industry? Because it requires an education, right? It requires a license. It requires going to school, passing the school, and then passing an exam. Okay? Cosmetology. We have men and women in cosmetology. Majority women, right? You can earn a lot of money doing cosmetology. You can even stay home and run a home beauty shop, right? Electrician. What can an electrician do? Work for the cable company, right? Um, Work for all, install lights. I mean, work for a construction company, right? Setting up the electrical wiring for a home, all those things. Maintenance. What can a maintenance worker do? Basically, fix the toilet, fix the sink, anything requiring maintenance on the job, fix electrical beds, fix a lot of, they're electrical too. And then the majority, matter of fact, the majority of these jobs, you can not only use them in the workforce, but you can bring these skills home, right? Nursing, you can nurse your man back to health, nurse yourself back to health, nurse your kids back to health, right? Mechanics, fix your own cars. Barbering, cut your own son's hair. Cosmetology, do your own hair to where you're not out there spending massive amounts of money doing yourself a wrap or some curls or a press or putting on a wig, whatever. Electrician, you know, the man can make sure that everything is safe in the home or the apartment before you move in. Knows how to fix electrical sockets, knows how to fix that lamp that broke, so that you don't have to go buy a new one. Maintenance, he can plunger that toilet and figure out what's going on. He can bring his tools home and snake the damn toilet, right? He can unclog a sink, right? But when you're dealing with an average man that's making minimum wage and has no set skill, how is he going to be a benefit for you in your home and outside the home when all he's basically doing is coming in, providing dick and attention? Right? So, what woman with her brain screwed on straight, with an education, would settle for an average man who knows how to do none of these things? Right? And vice versa. What type of man do you know that will want a woman who doesn't know how to take care of a sick man, take care of a sick child, take care of her sick self? I mean, the bitch don't know how to sew, she don't know how to crochet, she don't know how to knit. I mean, she know how to do is fucking cook and clean. That's not enough, ladies. It's not enough. Okay? So I just wanted to review some of the specific types of vocational jobs, because going to college is so expensive, right? And then on top of these vocational jobs, you can add certificates to it, right? I'm not going to go into that. Research it yourself. So basically, what I'm saying is the American way enables individuals and couples to earn much more than minimum wage. So if you put two people making $20 an hour together, that's $40 an hour. You guys can maintain on that, right? But anyway, enough of that. Let's get into this real talk. And when I say real talk, I mean real world talk. Now, as you can see on the screen, we have flapper. And what's a flapper? It's a young girl, somewhat daring in conduct, speech, and dress. We got a lot of these flappers on YouTube who think they know the way, or who think they have so much life experience, but the things that they are having their videos and lives about are things that have been fed to them, right? They haven't lived it, and maybe they've lived a small portion of it, but a gal my age, I mean, damn, I'm almost in my 50s. Like, I've lived so much life to where I have a 32-year-old son, right? So it's not what can you tell me, because I'm always learning, but it's like when you have a race of people, which is Black people, who have consistently repeated themselves generation after generation, year after year, it's hard not to pick up on what's happening, or what has happening, right? Or what continues to happen, right? So, being that I've been around the block, probably, I don't know, shit, say 20 times, right? Dating, listening, watching, learning, right? Having gone down my own paths, having made my own mistakes, being a teenage mother, right? Um, I think one of the number one things that saved me was that there's 12 years between my first and second child. And I think I've said in one of my videos that, when you have those stair step kids, those, you got a 1 year old, then you got, I don't know, a 9 month old. And then when the 9 month old turns, we got a lot of women out here who have a lot of children back to back to back to back, which denies a woman the opportunity to do some thinking, right? I'm a goal oriented person, and I believe that in order to succeed, continue to grow, and move forward, there has to be some time used for thinking. And if year after year you're constantly breastfeeding, you're constantly changing diapers, you're running back and forth to the pediatrician for the first year, you are buying clothes, you're cleaning bottles, you're doing all these things that a mother does, but you never get a break in between, right? This denies you the very, very necessity tool of thinking, right? Because thinking is a tool, right? So I guess my point is that until you have raised a child to the age of 32 or to the age of 18, have been out there in the workforce for that many years at least. I mean, and then you get on here and see, that's where flap your gums comes from. Oh, she's flapping her gums, or he's flapping his gums, because we can translate a flapper into a young girl or a young boy, right? So you get out here and you flap your gums, but you never give a concrete way of solving problems. You never show or present the origin of why things are. You never present an origin for the reason or the way things could turn out, right? So when you get on here and you're saying what women want, and you're saying what women should do, and you're saying they're delusional, different things of that nature, when you break it down like I just did, you will find that these women are in no shape, form, or fashion delusional. Now, is a woman delusional when she's asking for a man, a black man that makes 100,000 to 500,000 a year? I wouldn't say she's delusional. I would just say she's reaching, right? Because using the information that I've just given to you, is this the majority of black men that go down this path, or is it a small percentage of black men that go down this path? And then, the ones that do go down these paths, and let's use the 4 year degree path, right? The college path. The 4 year degree, and then some of them, they go on to get their masters, and then a lot of them go on to get their PhDs. We have black doctors, this, that, and the next, right? But in reality, who are those men? Who are those black men marrying, right? Who are those 100,000 plus men marrying? Because the damn sure ain't black women, right? So those men are out of reach. So let's set them to the side and put them in their place where they are and who they aspire to be with, because it's not a black woman. Now, when you take the rest of these men, right, in the black population, how many of them have high school diplomas? How many of them can even effectively read? How many of them effectively comprehend? How many of them even have a damn job? And the ones that do have a job, how many of them keep a job? Right? And those that do keep a job, how many women on the job have they screwed? And how many women's lives have they screwed up because they are of such low education, right? Having a high school diploma is of low education. We're just going to say, we're going to, call a spade a spade. I mean, you have some good guys out there who just got a bad break in life, right? You do have those parents that had to work, so therefore they couldn't really pour into their children, right? You do have those parents out there that chose to live the party life versus raise their children. You do have those parents out there who don't know how to raise kids, who won't even pick up a book or do any research on how to effectively raise children. So we got a lot of scuds bucket parents out there who are failing to do their job, who don't even want to do their job, and that suck at their job, right? It is what it is. Like I said, we're going to call a spade a spade. But you can't dismiss a woman not wanting an average man without addressing all these different points. So, you know, it kind of, it really, how do I want to say? It makes me so disgusted when a YouTuber takes one point and then applies that to all women. Of course, we don't have to consistently say, I'm not talking about all women or I'm not talking about all men, but it is courteous to make a side note, right? To address some of the points that lead us and lead Black people and couples and single people and men that can't find a woman and women that can't find a man. It does give us some insight to where we're not just applying this view to everybody in a specific gender, right? That's what irks me, because when someone is just tuning in, I mean, you have a lot of people that just don't know, that just do not comprehend well. You have a lot of people whose minds, and they're grown, their minds are a blank book. Their minds are blank computer screens. You can put any damn thing in their head and they'll fucking believe it. And this is how a lot of people are maximizing off of Black people, because they're so blank, right? That they don't even have basic critical thinking skills, right? And if they do, it's only skills that are for survival. So I think, like I said, it's courteous to put that side note to say, hey, I'm talking about this type of woman. But when you say, oh, delusional women, who are you talking about? And why are they delusional? And what brought you to your point? So when you get on YouTube and you just start talking about all these niggas ain't shit, well, what niggas are you talking about? Right? Are you talking about the average ones, the below average ones, the middle class ones, the high? Who the fuck are you talking about? Because it makes everybody on the outside of the race think that we're all like that. And I beg to differ, right? So I like to be a little bit more specific in my content, because it it enables people on the outside looking in to still have in their mind that, oh, some people are like this, some people are like that, and some people are like this. And it also allows everyone to come to their own conclusions about what type of man or woman they are dealing with. Oh, okay, I saw this YouTube video about you. I can see that, she was talking about you because you so and such and such and such, right? Now, let's talk about good quality of life. What is a good quality of life? When I Googled it, it said access to good health care, loving relationships, meaningful work, making time for hobbies, good rest, healthy food, the ability to perform an enjoyable form of exercise, right? All help to improve the quality of one's life. So, can an average man making minimum wage provide you with this quality of life? Oh, shoot, what the fuck happened? Come on. Scuzz bucket computer.